Warning. The Federal Communications Commission has determined the following content to be emotionally harmful.
Funny things that you think's funny aren't funny.
Give me cocks all the time. I want cocks all over me.
The Alan Cox Show kicks ass, man.
Welcome.
Show me what you got.
You're not going to see a lot of cocks on TV.
Alan Cox from the Alan Cox Show.
I don't know what it's about you, but I can't even stand your voice.
You know when he's Mr. Tough Guy when he's standing behind the microphone?
I think you're the biggest asshole alive.
It's gonna be a great show.
Let's kick it. I'll say kick it, and you'll just kick it with a tasty groove, okay? 1, 2, 3, kick it. Kick it, come on. God damn it. Could you one time kick it? What the?
Alan Cox.
Here we go. He'll ad-lib. He'll be fine.
It's the Alan Cox Show on 100.7 WMMS.
Someone who doesn't have to do this. Poundcake is some, you guys are all people who don't have to do this. You rent, and somebody else takes care of it. Bozo takes care of it in your case.
Did you see my story today?
He's up on the roof.
He's just up there, 8 a.m., just patching holes or whatever he's doing.
Yeah, he's got to take care of his
putting
property.
tar down. I don't know what it is.
But that's what you do when you
Yeah.
get
Is it a
flat roof, or is it like...
Right.
Yeah, it's like the garage roof is what he was standing on top of.
Because I didn't know if he got like a ladder to climb to the top of the roof and then he just was
Well,
like
he definitely did that. He needed the ladder to get there. But I'm
Well,
like,
sometimes there's like a staircase where it goes up and there's like a roof door or a roof entrance or something like that.
Are you living in a 1400s Victorian mansion is what Poundcake's trying to ask.
I'm not. I don't know.
7 gables on your home?
No secret passages or hatches or anything like that.
He was up there making it happen.
I was up early cleaning my apartment. I was just up early today, and I heard like a ladder clanking around and things, and I'm like, go out there. I'm like, this guy. Soft-toed shoes, jeans. I love his work outfits.
Well, yeah, no rest for the weary. He's got to get out there and do
That's
stuff.
pretty common work outfit. Like, that's
I feel like you should have
roofers
boots
wear.
or something on in case you drop something on your foot or
You're just doing
slip or I don't know.
He's not working with like block or something like that.
Oh, you got a big, heavy pink can of tar and
It'll be
I don't know.
It'll be okay.
He's preparing for the winter.
Yes.
Well, I spent the better part of the weekend raking leaves. You get out the tarp, and I've got a blower, and I've got a rake, and the whole thing, because I wanted to. This is who I am now. As a kid, of course, I hated raking leaves because I was made to do it. But now, I look around and I go, gotta get to those leaves. You know, I'm that guy. And so for the better part, you get them to the curb because where I live, they got a truck that goes around and sucks up all the leaves from the curb. And I thought, this is going to be great, right? I got ahead of it for once. Well, my neighbor has, no fault of his own, but he has a huge tree that hangs over my yard. And I got up this morning, and my entire yard was carpeted in leaves. I had wasted the entire weekend. It was as if one of those planes that goes over a forest fire and drops that stuff on it had dropped leaves onto my front yard. And then the truck came by to suck up the leaves at the curb. So now I have a nice bright green strip at the curb, and the entirety of my lawn is covered in leaves.
That's funny.
So now I'll have these are the issues. that suburban homeowners have to deal with.
White people problems!
Sure, to be fair, plenty of that.
When I was in Lakewood, like when I first moved there, we had a house with my ex-wife and all the kids and stuff, and the backyard was all fenced in, and there was trees all around it. So when the leaves would fall, if I didn't rake them, it was like you were in a ball pit of leaves.
Sure. Yeah.
Like you had to get them.
We had, growing up, we had three trees in our front.
Two trees, and a bush.
Three trees. We had 3 trees in our front yard, and we would let it go for a little while with 5 kids, but then we would rake like a maze, or put them up into a big circle, and then it was a fort or whatever. I mean, that was our job anyway, but we had fun with it.
My daughter I created a big pile of leaves in the backyard, had my daughter jump in them for the better part of the afternoon. I thought, well, that'll be fun for her, right? Before they go to the curb, never to be seen again. No.
Do a maze in the front yard.
She's going to get lost when I have to do the front yard. But whatever, right? You could, because Gwen always goes, well, there's neighborhood kids you can pay to do it. I'm not paying some neighborhood kid to do what I should be doing.
This is such a departure from who you used to be.
What? Who did I used to be?
If you could pay someone to do it, then do it. I'm not the leaf guy.
Well, I'm still that guy, but as I learn to do more and more things, like if I need, we've had some renovations going on at Casa Cox, and if obviously I'm going to hire professionals for those things. But along throughout the quarantine, I've taught myself a bit of electrical work. And so if it doesn't get too complicated, I can do some of that now. I can certainly rake the leaves. Right?
AC circuit closer?
Yeah, but even if you don't need, like, I know how to rake leaves, but if I have the money to pay somebody, if I'm a millionaire perhaps living in Bay Village, I'm going to give those neighborhood kids the money to rake the leaves.
You might be onto something, because as I looked out the front window this morning, I go, God damn, I don't think I want to do that. I really don't think I want to do that. So this may be an instance where, but again, I'm very much a believer, and if you want something done right, you got to do it to yourself.
Hey,
Freudian slip.
sure.
You got to do it to yourself. You have to do
Get
it
away
yourself.
from me. I'll do it myself.
That's right. Unhand that rake, young man. I know you're trying to make a couple of extra dollars for your college education, but I won't have it. Not in my yard. So whatever. I figure the kid will want to jump in them again and blah, blah, blah. We have 23 live shows remaining in 2020, barring any mass infections that might happen in this building. And since there are fewer and fewer people working here all the time, I'm not particularly concerned about that. Back when we were at full capacity pre-COVID, we used to get these emails when they would have a company come in every so often, like around insurance time, this time of the year where everybody opts for whatever their insurance is going to be if their company offers it. We'd always get an email that said, hey, so-and-so is going to be here. Sign up if you want to get a wellness check. They do your vitals and get some blood and whatever, tell you if you were dying or not. And they used to do that, but they would need a certain number of people to sign up to make it worth it. So they're like, hey, if we don't get 30 people, they're not going to come do it. So if you want to do it. Well, now that there's and we get an email a few days ago. Hey, somebody's going to be here giving people flu shots. I'm like, there's no one here. Who are they giving flu shots to?
Us.
Us?
It's on us.
Jesus.
You
couldn't even get enough people. When it was full capacity, you couldn't get enough people to come in and do these things. Now they're
like bring their kid, too.
Yeah.
I gotta go get my dog a flu shot so we can get this number up.
There you go. And flu shots are last year's model anyway, right? Isn't that how they work them?
I've never had a flu shot.
I don't think I have either. And I've never gotten the flu.
I get the flu
People
probably
get them
every year.
Do you really?
Yeah,
well,
I usually do.
Yeah, I mean, it's to each his own, but...
Unless the flu I got in February was actually COVID. But normally I do get flu-like symptoms.
You think you got the early Rona?
Well, yeah, because I almost had to cancel my first college gig for it. I was out in Minnesota just feeling like trash, hot fever. It wasn't a cough, though. It was like fever and like the stuffiness and all that kind of stuff. But
head cold, as it were.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, I've got to take a break. If you want to send me a text, do that, 35192. I will have another log-on code for you around 4:20 to watch the Metallica acoustic show that they're doing on Saturday night for their charity. They're going to do that from Metallica HQ. And also a code for you to check out a preview screening at home of a movie called Sound of Metal that looks pretty good. So we'll take care of that later on. 35192 to text. You can hit us up at alancoxshow.com and listen anywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Next chance to grab some money. You can go fund yourself and grab $1,000 coming up at 2:30.
The Alan Cox Show on 100.7.
out to make a one last stand. You thought you were heading to a 4-star hotel just a couple of miles from the Liberty Bell. Rudy, 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 what you gonna do now? Now that you're everybody's clown.
New song from Tim Heidecker. If you're a fan of his, it's called Rudy at the Four Seasons. And there was somebody in the, a couple extra people in the office in the back this morning, and I was kind of chatting with him and catching up or whatever, and we were just batting around theories about this Four Seasons landscaping press conference, and I still cannot get I couldn't sleep last night. And I'm not going
about that.
I'm not going to ascribe it to just that, but my thoughts quickly turned to that. I mean, I woke up probably 1:45 and couldn't get back to sleep for at least 90 minutes. I'm just lying there going, what the hell is the story behind the Four Seasons landscaping press conference? I'm fascinated by it. I'm fixated on it. And I want to know the actual story. I thought that by now there would be some deep dive post-mortem on how that actually became a thing. But all I've seen so far is that it's become a VR hangout for furries. If you're in VR chat rooms and you're a furry, Four Seasons Total Landscaping there in Philly is a place where you can hang out. I mean, it seems apropos. Why not? Somebody recreated this place in a VR simulator. So let you hang out with people and...
But there's nothing there.
Socialite. Well, there's furries there now.
Parking lot.
They're all hanging out. And they're loving it. So if you're a furry, and I don't recall when the Anthrocon in Pittsburgh is. I think it's summertime. But obviously that didn't happen. And so if you're a furry and you feel, disconnected from your community, not only can you hang out in virtual reality, you can now do it in Philadelphia at the Four Seasons Total Landscaping. By the way, speaking of Tim Heidecker, is anybody watching Moonbase 8? No. I keep forgetting you guys watch Showtime. And it's a new show about these three guys. It's John C. Reilly, it's Fred Armisen, and it's Tim Heidecker, who are these guys that are training. They're trying to be the first team on Mars, and so they're doing a NASA training mission in the Arizona desert. And they're just three dummies. But the premiere episode had Travis Kelce in it.
Oh, yeah?
Who's the pride of Cleveland Heights, but plays for the Super Bowl Chiefs. And, spoiler, doesn't make it out of the first episode. But it was he plays himself. And the conceit is that NASA's trying to do like a PR crossover with the NFL. So it's these three astronauts and then just Travis Kelce in a NASA suit. And he's just, he's lifting, getting his gains, whatever, running around to asking people to do stuff. I'm like, hey, what's that dude doing in there?
He's on my fantasy team.
He's probably in a couple of your fantasies.
No.
Good-looking chap.
Just my Yahoo Sports fantasy team.
How's he doing?
Great.
Yeah?
Yeah.
He's good.
Yeah, he's very good.
Well, Showtime said that they initially wanted Gronkowski, but they couldn't get him, so they got Travis Kelce. But anyway, if you're a furry, you can check out Four Seasons Landscaping on whatever. And again, I have to claim ignorance on the depth and breadth of the virtual reality community. I don't know. I don't have goggles. A few years ago, I bought my son this huge VR rig. And it is pretty amazing. I could see how people could get addicted to this. I could see how people could... there's been no shortage of movies about in the future, everybody's jacked into their VR, and they let their avatars run around and they're at home and this dystopian view of the future. But I could see how that might be a future that you might kind of want to live in because anything can happen in there. There have been a couple of times along the way I'm like, maybe I should buy some VR goggles. And I'm like, what are you, crazy? When are you they're going to sit on a shelf. I'm going to use them once a month because they're cool. I mean, if you've ever had, they're really cool, depending on what you do with them.
You're not going to do anything with them.
Which is the conclusion I reached. Or I would, and then I go, again, I'd try them out on some Saturday for 90 minutes if I was by myself, and then they would sit on a shelf. And I'd pull them out a couple months later when I had some free time. Oh my God, Sold Bill my Xbox a couple years ago because I bought that and never used it.
Yep, and I traded that for
some Magic
Switch.
Beans.
No, a Switch. You got the new Xboxes came out today.
Right.
I'm happy with my Jason Mraz Autograph 360.
Well, was it my Watchmen Xbox that I sold you?
Was it Watchmen?
Was it my Watchmen Xbox?
I mean, it was just an Xbox.
It was, okay. Well, because I had a Watchmen wrapped Xbox.
Yeah, it wasn't that one.
It wasn't that one. Okay. Well, then I think I might have ended up giving that to my son or something. And then I bought one. This was a few years ago. Because I was like, well, we'll play games online. Like if I don't see you guys, we'll play Xbox.
Yeah.
We did it a couple times because he was getting into high school and they're busy and whatever.
Stuff going on.
And I'm doing my thing. Would have been different if he was 8. But I got to that. I think I came to that a little bit too late. That whole thing. But the real MVPs of this whole fiasco have been Four Seasons Total Landscaping because they're selling merch. I mean, they are getting so much free press out of this.
I think that's what they wanted. Because otherwise...
I just want to know the story. It cannot be that somebody from the campaign thought they were calling the hotel.
I'm telling you, that's what it is. That's what it is.
Absolutely.
They did not do their due diligence.
But wouldn't the person on the other end go, this is a landscaping establishment?
No, because they were
what
like...
if they were a Trump supporter? The person who answered the phone is like, hell yeah, it's finally happening. You know what I mean? Like, their dreams are coming true.
But what I'm saying is, in the course of a normal conversation between a person and an establishment, I would think that some bit of information would have come to light where somebody would have said, well, we're not the hotel. You're welcome here, but we are a landscaping place. And the other person goes, okay, cool. It can't be as simple as... nobody's going through the phone book anymore. Four Seasons call them, right? So
they're probably emailing them, and they just weren't paying attention.
Could it be that simple?
Yes.
But my question is, even if somebody found out that they weren't paying attention, you'd still go through with it
and go
sound
there? Dumb. He doesn't sound like an idiot. So he's like, whoever, this is what I meant.
He wasn't there,
time.
though.
Whoever, he tweeted it out, though, right?
Yeah. But they all sound dumb all the time. I would think that at some point you'd want to go, especially now.
But it's all
when
part
you're
of the
foisting
plan,
all this nonsense on people, you'd think you'd want to nail something down.
You're trying to find logic in a situation where there is.
Of course I am.
There's not.
But what I'm saying is the people who run the landscaping place.
One of two things.
There's clearly been no downside for them.
Well, they were either like, oh, this is going to get us a ton of press and coverage, let's play along, or they were also just, oh yeah, sure, come hang out in our parking lot. We don't know.
Yeah.
Could be like someone's nephew working the phones that day who wasn't even supposed to pick it up. You know what I mean? Like, damn it, Tommy, we told you to stay off the phones.
Not only that, but some places, even though they're called Four Seasons Total Landscaping, some places, because they're known locally.
Four Seasons.
Four Seasons, that's right. They'll just use what people know them for. Four Seasons.
Yeah.
Hey, can we rent out a ballroom from you guys? This is what I'm saying.
We got the backyard.
The initial, nobody says, hey, can we use your parking lot? If they think they're calling the hotel, they go, hey, can we rent some ballroom, whatever, right? And somebody goes, well, we don't have a ballroom. You're more than welcome. Let's go with they were Trump supporters. They'd go, you're more than welcome to come here and do whatever you want to do, but we only have the back parking lot for you. And here's our address. Even if you get, at some point in the process, Rudy Giuliani or somebody would have had to have said in their Escalade, wait a second, where the F are we?
I want to know who the first person that noticed in the campaign was.
Right.
Where they're just like, oh, crap.
Well, someone who, when Trump sent out the tweet, the actual Four Seasons corrected them, and they're like, actually, you said the Four Seasons Total Lawn and Landscaping, that's no affiliation with the Four Seasons. And so I'm sure people were scrambling after that. Because the Four Seasons was like, we don't want any affiliation with you.
Well, listen, business is apolitical for the most part. If a hotel goes, sure, give us $50,000 and you can have any one of our ballrooms that you want. I don't know why they wouldn't do that.
But they just tweeted out the wrong place, so they were like,
yeah, I don't think they even contacted the right place in the first place.
I'm telling you, man, that's what happened. No one did their due diligence. It's not like they researched.
Well,
they're scrambling.
No, but that part is clear. I want to know what the actual story is. And maybe it's out there and I just haven't seen it. Not doing their diligence, that is part and parcel of that entire regime. I'm simply saying, I'm just curious. I'd like to know the points on the curve that got to that place, because there's signage behind him and there's a podium, and they still had to. They still
set it up like a press conference. They still held it there. They just dug in. They're like, yeah, it's where we meant to have the press conference. Duh.
I guess that's what it was. Their mise en scène was all set up. Let me give you some money here. It is $1,000 for you. It is going to be your first of 4 chances to go fund yourself today, so good luck.
Hey, it's Rover. Go fund yourself. It's time for your shot at $1,000 now. Text the nationwide keyword, check, to the number 200-200. You'll get a text confirming entry plus iHeartRadio info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's check to 200-200. Good luck and go fund yourself from 100.7 WMMS.
Hey, Sean.
Hey, how's it going, Al?
What's up, man?
Hey, when they president is moving somewhere, don't they send Secret Service in to like check the location out prior or anything like that?
I mean, unless the president is there, and he wasn't, I don't think they send a detail like that. I think Rudy's doing his own thing, and so I don't know that it was I don't think they have snipers on the adjacent roofs, if that's what you mean.
Well, right. I just figured there would have been some kind of, a look into the place.
But again, that's a legitimate question. That's one of the million questions I have, is how they got to that. Obviously, they doubled down when somebody told them. They were like, well, we're here, and we're going to make this work, and who cares that anybody thinks we'll act like this was the plan the whole time.
I'm loving the banners on the garage door, though. That's like the icing on the cake.
Thank you, Sean. Thanks for the call. No, but I mean, like, they are benefiting from this PR. They're selling merch, Make America Rake Again.
That's funny.
They're selling...
Hey, that's you! They want you to rake again, Alan.
I never stopped raking, Bill.
Well, you've stopped for a couple days, and now you have to do it again.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Bill. I live in Cleveland, Ohio. That stands for Random Acts of Kindness Everywhere. Thank you very much. And they also have T-shirts that say Lawn and Order.
That's so funny.
So they are the ones that are really benefiting from...
I'm sure they can't tell the story because they probably have...
Here he goes, non-disclosure agreement. You love the NDAs. You think they did all this, and then somewhere along the line somebody came up with a non-disclosure agreement?
Okay, that's a good
They didn't
point.
do diligence on anything else?
Okay, that's a good point. I didn't think about that. But, like, why wouldn't they tell the story? Why wouldn't they have, like, the owner of the business on, like, Dateline or something? I don't know.
They might be. I mean, there's a few other things going on that are more important. But
Nah, nothing's more important than this. If it's keeping you up at 2 a.m., nothing's more important than this.
I can't, like I said, I can't blame this. But my thoughts certainly went to this during my insomnia. The company's apparel was meant to look like political campaign gear. The $50 hoodie they were selling. The stickers are $5 a piece.
So, I don't know. I'm just looking on Google, but it says, like, New York Times reported that on Saturday the Giuliani and Trump advisor had always intended the news conference take place in a section of Philadelphia where they might receive a more welcomed reception.
Then that might be the explanation.
So they're kind of making it sound like, no, we did this on purpose to, like, appeal to blue-collar workers or something.
I mean, that is an explanation that I would believe
Says
if
rather
they hadn't...
rather than the raucous celebrations of Joe Biden's victory going on in the city center.
But they hadn't started celebrating yet.
It says it was the president who misunderstood. So they were like, no. It was always supposed to be total landscaping. He thought Four Seasons Hotel.
They're not going to throw him under the bus. They're going to make they're going to make him sound like some genius. But anyway, it's a fascinating story.
So I don't know.
And by the way, speaking of merch, Biden campaign's got some great merch too. They say what you want about the Biden campaign, but for a guy as old as Joe Biden, he clearly had some people in the campaign on the digital side who knew what they were doing, because the entire campaign they were doing some A+ trolling of the Trump campaign, because elections are going to be meme oriented from now on. Right? That's what elections are.
Don't you watch the news? And by that I mean share memes.
Well, but it seems, for some people it might seem silly, it might seem utterly absurd. But that's kind of how communication has changed over the years. And so, if you have a dank meme game, as the kids say, Bill.
Oh, my God.
You like that?
No,
I do like that.
Don't.
Can you say it again?
I hate it.
Dank memes, Bill.
Well, dank meme.
Dank memes.
Game.
But anyway, the Biden team is selling hats instead of "Make America Great Again." They're selling hats that say "We just did."
That's awesome.
With 46 underneath. We just did. By the way, Jill Biden, they said, will be the first lady to keep a full-time job. She's a doctor. Pat Nixon, Richard Nixon's wife, I think was the first lady to wear pants in public. Before that, they had always worn a skirt to be ladylike, and Pat Nixon wanted to break the mold. She wore pants. And other first ladies along the way have done things.
Melania, the first to pose nude.
There you go. Well, that we know
that
of.
was released, you know, in a
publicly
setting.
posed nude.
Well, it was
sure.
before she was first lady.
I know, but she did it.
She did it.
And it's good.
But Jill Biden will be the first lady to keep her full-time job.
Could you imagine if your teacher was like the first lady?
Well, she's a doctor. I don't know a doctor of what, but yeah, maybe she is a teacher. Maybe she teaches
teacher.
at a hospital or something.
Well, Joe Biden said it. He
did
said,
he?
She's a doctor of something, but she's not like a medical doctor.
Oh, I thought she was. Oh, she's
No.
not a medical. Oh, I see. She has a PhD, not an MD.
Because in Joe's victory speech, she was like, teachers, you should be happy that you have one of you in the White House.
I see.
Yeah, no, she's educational doctor.
Okay. Well, she's going to be teaching somewhere. She's not just going to sit around. I'll tell you who's got it made, is the second husband. Kamala Harris's husband, who is already a...
Doug?
He's
Greg?
Doug
What's his name?
Emhoff.
Doug, yeah.
He's an established guy. He's an entertainment lawyer. He's just going to be kicking it. This guy's got no problems whatsoever, right?
Does he get put in charge of education if she wins?
No. You're never going to believe this. The incoming administration, they don't have a family member in the joint. I don't know what they're thinking. It's all doctors and professionals and these douchebags.
What
Anyway,
do they know?
What do they know? Indeed. But this Emhoff guy, he's going to, because I think the vice presidential residence is like at the Naval Academy or something. He's just going to be walking around, eating Fritos, watching TV in his socks.
I thought they were in the White... The second family's not in the White House either?
No, I believe...
didn't know that either.
I think I think the vice presidential residence is at the Naval Academy. I think.
Well, regardless.
A nice big house. But anyway, you know, she'll be doing stuff, and he'll be running around. He's going to be like... Macaulay Culkin in Home Alone.
Setting booby traps? Setting booby traps?
No, wasn't the kid when he first finds out he's alone before booby traps? Yeah, he's running around. He's
Eating all the candy,
He's putting the stuff on his face and making
Aftershave.
cute faces, aftershave, the whole bit. That's going to be the second husband. Because I think the kids are grown. She's a stepmom. So I think the kids are grown or whatever. So they're empty nesters. And this cat has got it made.
I didn't know I love all that.
The second husband. You know, and what does he care? He's proud of his woman.
Yeah.
Like, look at her.
She worked hard.
Yes. In the back of his mind, he's like, this is gonna be the best. Be playing Xbox. Whatever he does, right?
Yeah.
You're an entertainment lawyer. You're not flying around visiting sets or anything. There's nothing happening, really.
You think he can still take cases and stuff while she's in office, or that they advise against that in case he gets wrapped up in something, or you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, he'd have to recuse himself, I think, from the appropriate whatever. If there was, I don't know where there would be crossover though between what they were doing legislatively and entertainment law.
No. I mean, like if he takes some entertainment case, right, and it gets messy, and he gets wrapped up in the middle of it for it to look bad on her.
Oh,
you get what I'm saying?
No clue. I can't imagine he'd want to do anything
That's
that
what I'm
would
just
throw tax in the road
right.
for her. Yeah.
Just take 4 years and hang out.
Yeah.
Not do any work.
Joe in Philly, no one better to get me hip to this Four Seasons lawn and garden thing.
Hey, what up, guys?
What's going on?
I've been kind of avoiding calling in and talking about politics, but
this isn't politics. This is landscaping.
Well, yeah. I looked up this place, and when I looked it up, I was surprised they did anything out in that area. This is in the Northeast. This is a bad location. It's not far off from Kensington.
Okay.
Kensington is known for their zombies. Crackheads, meth heads, heroin in the streets, blatant, straight in the streets. People just laying on the sidewalk, just doing drugs. So it blew my mind when I was like, why were they even there And there are plenty of other places right outside the city to go that people would actually go to if you were trying to hold some sort of press conference.
I was going to say, I didn't think that anybody in that entourage would have wanted to be anywhere near some place where poor people could be touching them.
Right, and like if there are furries out there, they should not be there.
Well, in VR, I mean,
VR,
somebody set up Total Garden Landscaping, whatever the hell, Four Seasons, as a VR hangouts for furries.
Funny thing, there's like a ballroom like right across the street from where they were. Like,
no, I think the sex shop is called the Ballroom.
No, this is an event venue. They could have just
that's called the Cafe Ballroom. That's a event planning group.
All right.
They have like 5 different locations all over the city, make a ton of money. So I get where you got that from.
All right. Well, okay.
It's a pretty crazy story. You guys are right by talking about this. Like, it is nuts to be out there, and I just don't get it. It doesn't make sense to me. But
I guess I'm sure I'm overthinking it, but I always kind of like to. I always like to find the patterns there. Okay, hey, thanks, Joe.
Yeah, be safe, guys.
All right, you too. There's Joe in Philadelphia, trying to fill in some of the gaps there on the Four Seasons landscaping press conference. But that'll be for another day, I guess. All right, I got to take a break. 35192. Want to send me a text if you want to join us on the phone? 216-578-1007 or 800-348-1007.